Welcome to another episode on my Arduino Mega2560 in combination with Arduino Uno connected via SPI, serial peripheral interface, with fischertechnik Mechatronics and two working Mechatronics actually, and one that has been refusing for a bit. Software is working, and by this you can tell that the SPI is working mostly. I haven't seen this working yet, but that may be a connection by me. Anyway, main focus right now is to get this one working again. I already replaced the wire, that didn't work out, so since this LED is working, and this LED is part of the transistor circuit for this motor, I am going to measure now the voltages on the transistor circuits for this motor here, for this motor, and maybe for these two motors as well, which are then these two circuits. This one for this motor and this one for this motor. And the question is, of course, what voltage is on them compared to this one, because the fact that the LED is burning brightly is actually telling not so much about the voltage on these wires, since an LED can burn on much less voltage. So with the analog multimeter in place, let's put one probe to the minus, multimeter set to 30 volts, so that should give a very low voltage in the end, or on the middle, but I don't mind right now. This wire is going to the motor, and it says it is less than 1 volt, surprisingly. Then I want to know this, and this one is much higher. Well, no, not. I have to measure correctly, and then it says almost 1 volt. Then I measure here, it's a lot higher. Alright, measuring here, a lot higher. Measuring once again here. So with a voltage of almost 1 volt they run. And why do they run? Because their pulse is modulated. Now measuring, and I have to be careful not to touch any other open wire right here, and I am measuring between ground and this, and it says over 3 volts, so that cannot be the cause. Then I have to measure at the motor, so the most logical way to do that is right, no, not on the blue wire, because that is connected to power. So I have to lean over and use this one, and that says 3 point so many volts, and so the question is it the voltage or is it the pulses modulation? Well, it means a voltage difference. So that's a good question. What is the cause? And it did suddenly stop, and when I look at the Uno, it is connected to pin, which pin is it connected to? The whole wire is connected to pin 7. And analog output pin 7 is here. What does it say? And that's important. What does that say? So tools, and I have to put this to the right one. This is the Uno, and this one should be the Uno as well. Yes. Now monitor. $199, and I recall that with this one it was about 180 something, so that value is absolutely correct. Let me check for being this one has to be the Mega2560, and this one has to be of course the Mega2560 as well. Then serial monitor. Now I get something. See, output value 1. This is the value I want to see. It's 190, and the other one was 199. So extremely close to each other. So that cannot be the reason for this motor not functioning. The correct output value, or I already checked for the transistor, and the transistor is working, otherwise this LED would not be working. So these are intriguing questions of why. Back to the Uno. Monitor. Right. So the value from pin 7 is correct. It may be less, it may be more, but this is about the value I'm happy with. Last time I also checked it with the power controller of fischertechnik, and it turns out that the motor is just working fine. Another thing that is the point is that this is the output, the pulses modulation, and it writes it exactly right here. And value for motor, is defined right here as being 800. I had it higher and lower, but this seemed to be the correct question to get to 90. And right here everything is determined using the pot meters. So should I use a pot meter here? I have a few pot meters, but maybe I should wait a bit. When I got it working, then I can change the values, and like I did here in the past, but for now it needs to work. And what is the answer? It's clearly not the thickness of the wire, because I measure on both just the same value. Has it to do with a too high a value being too high? I mean, the other values, although that's not entirely correct, because in these two circuits I don't have a pot meter either. It just works. Well, not the second motor, but this motor works. It needs some assistance to get to work, but it does. Thinking again. Alright, now I have made a significant change. In order to make it about the same situation here as I have here on the Mega2560, I put a new pot meter right here, and the pot meter I had to adjust because it is it turned out to be a little bit too flexible in its seatings with its wires, and then I connected it to ground and to power, and since it is in the same lane, that is fine. Then from here I had to find a solution to get to here, so I took a long yellow jump wire from here straight to here, and a very thin blue wire from here to input A1. Then some code, so I created a variable analog. Well, this speaks for itself. Analog in pin A1. Then a variable pot meter value. So this value is assigned to this variable. I will print it in the serial monitor. Then with this value I map it to output value, and this is going into out pin 7, which in turn controls this motor. So this sounds complicated, but in this way I can both check the actual value of the pot meter and the actual value of the mapping. Whenever it goes wrong, but at least in this way I will know what is going on. So Uno and Uno, so that's all set. Compile and upload, and I hope I didn't forget to declare anything. Alright, that seems to be alright. Time for the serial monitor. Let's stop auto scroll. Voltmeter value 68. Output value 60. No. What did I want? Yeah, output value. Alright. So if I take a screwdriver, this one, and I turn it up, then I get voltmeter value lower. I turn it up, I hope. Alright, now what's the voltmeter value? 57. Can I turn it up completely? Not further. Alright, I turn it up the other way. Voltmeter value 17. Alright, between 17 and 65. Alright, what's the output value? 10 right now. Turning around, output value 15. Not very high. Also sensor value is pretty low by now. 30, but that is logical because sensor value is the motor, which doesn't run at the moment. Then again, if I turn the value, does this motor start running? Nope, it does not. But that may be... no, wait. I do get values. So from the potmeter, so that means that the blue wire that I have put here, this particular wire, very thin one, does its job. So if that's not the cause, what is? Thinking again. Alright, another point is that I really want to know if things are really equal when it comes to this potmeter for the Uno and these two potmeters for the Mecha2560. And to monitor that, I have added a little bit of code, serial print monitor, and write the potmeter value that I read from A0. It isn't called A0, but it is A0, and it is a much higher value. Why is that possible? Because just like ordinary resistors, they have different values, and likewise potmeters have different values, different maximum values. So in that respect, the question is, with such potmeters, what are their maximum values anyway? For a different project, I already measured it, and it came to about 10 kilo ohms. But if you're talking about mega ohms, for example 20 mega ohms, then you have a very different thing. And it may just be that this value is too low. And then I'm talking about this value, that it has no effect at all. On the other hand, this simply did work, stopped for a reason, and I have yet to find out why. So now I know that this potmeter value is much higher than the potmeter value I read from here. What I may do is just like with ordinary resistors, put them in series and you add up the value. But to use a 10K you need quite a lot of resistors to come to mega ohms. Well, that may not be such a very good idea. But I have one other potmeter left, so I might check in for that one. Any other idea? I do not really know, although I do notice right now that this LED isn't working. So let me go back to the Uno port. Uno, why isn't that LED working? This one, which so this one belonging to this transistor, belonging to this output to this motor. So that is a very good question. Why doesn't that one work anymore? Does it have to do with this? Possibly. So let me change the value and see whatever happens. And to be honest, I would have expected something to have happened already. Ouch. And without the value it won't work for sure. Now another thing is, of course, what is being printed. Analog write output, right. (1023), and then I got a 190 output. And now I'm much lower, so that may be the reason with this addition that the value is now too low for this to burn. Ouch. I need to change, but where? The only way to find out if this potmeter is indeed the culprit in the present situation of the LED not burning, only thing I have to do is this set right. Yes, it is. Is commenting this line out and this line in, both analog out pin 7. This is the potmeter value, this has a fixed value 1023. Upload, and yes, it works. So I am now let's put it into half. 5,000, not 5,000, 512. Still works. Now the situation was that it was about 75, and that is way too low, I assume. Yep, way too low. Up to 164. Is that correct? 4, 8, 16, 20, 23, 64, 128. 128 then. Okay, 128 already works, but the value was not nearly in that direction. So once again the other way. And it's off again. So let me take serial monitor, potmeter value, no, I need output value. Output value is 9. I really need output value. Very, very low. Completely the other way. 33. So this is not even close to well, this is 37. Yeah, 37. So it's not close to 128. And I could find the minimum that I need, but it's nowhere near the values of this potmeter or this one. Nowhere near. So this gives another problem. Now the hardware situation is correct, but that's it. And that indicates that I need a very different solution, or different anyway. Which brings me to the end of this episode. No solution, a lot of experiments, and once again one motor that still doesn't work, but I prefer to have this motor working for now. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video and haven't subscribed yet, please do. Give the video a thumbs up. Also follow me on Twitter, retweet and like, and follow me on Instagram and like. Please donate to keep the videos coming your way. For more information, see my website, and this is of course going to be continued. So bye bye.